easy apa pasal apa jalan highway itu less than 4 hour maksudnya. Ya, sekarang kalau aku buat 4 jam lebih, kalau dia cakap ni less than 5 hour.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I would like to inform that Google Meet has reached its maximum participants. So if your friend want to join us with this webinar, you have to ask your friend to view the webinar through YouTube live streaming. Because the maximum number of participants in this Google Meet is only 100 participants. So we have reached 100. So we cannot accept any more participants here. So they can only view this webinar through YouTube live streaming. Thank you. I need your kind cooperation to inform your friends because it will somehow distract us because I have to deny and view all the participants who request to join this webinar through Google Meet. No, okay.
Tengah pakai tengah-tengah dong.
Once again, before we start, I would like to seek your cooperation to inform your friends that we have reached our maximum participants in this Google Meet, so they can only view this webinar through YouTube live streaming. Thank you. Or it will distract us later on. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We will start this now. For tonight, there will be few things that I will highlight. First of all, okay, I'll share my screen first. Okay, for tonight, I'll be sharing with you a few things about preparation for online examination. which we will be discussing on a few things, which are first one is online IGA. So what is online IGA? How this online IGA will work, and a few other things. And then the next one, we will be discussing on a few things about Google Classroom and also Google Docs and Google Form, which will be used during this online IGA. And then we will end this session with Q&A session. If you have any questions or any problems that you face throughout your... I'm sorry, is there anybody that who unmute their microphone? Okay, we'll start first with what is online IGA and how it will work, as well as when it will be held. First of all, online IGA is just the same with IGA that we have seen before. So it will be held in 3 days, starting from 26 January 2021 until 28 January 2021, which will start tomorrow until Thursday, this coming Thursday. There will be two papers. If before this, during our physical IGA or physical APT, there is only one paper. But then this time around, since we having online IGA, we have divided this IGA paper into two papers, which paper one will consist of a few things like vocabularies, reading and comprehension, and etc., which I will explain later. And then for this online IGA, there will be no invigilation through Google Meet for both papers. We were planning to have this invigilation through Google Meet before, but there are a few things that we cannot we faced here. There are a few problems that we faced, so there will be no invigilation through Google Meet for both papers for this online IGA. And then this online IGA will be using Google Docs, Google Forms, which will be posted on your Google Classroom. There will be two Google Classrooms, which I will explain later. So start with the first one, paper 1 section A. There will be 10 marks for paper 1 section A. So for paper 1, there will be two sections, which are section A and section B. For section A, we have 10 marks, which this section will test students on vocabularies and grammar. There will be 20 questions in total, which will be divided into 10 questions each. So, which means there will be 10 questions that test you on vocabularies, and there will be 10 questions that will test you on grammar. So these questions actually are just the same with IGA or physical IGA that we have been sitting for throughout these semesters. But then we have just digitalized those questions into Google Forms so that it will be easier for you to answer these questions compared to answering questions in written form or in on paper. So there will be 20 questions, 10 questions each, 10 questions for vocabularies and 10 questions for grammar. So total marks for this section, which is paper 1 section A, is only 10 marks, which each and every questions will only give you half mark. So paper 1 section A will be conducted by using Google Forms, and the link will be shared on the assigned Google Classroom LQM based, which means these questions that you will be sitting tomorrow night will be posted on your LQM based Google Classroom that you have joined a few days ago. There are few what we call that, few sections for each Google Classroom. This paper 1 will be posted on these groups. I'll show you how it will look and how you will be you have to how you will access that questions. So it will be conducted tomorrow, 26 January 2021, Tuesday, 8 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. synchronously, which all students that are who are taking LQM subject this semester, be it LQM 0813 or LQM 0823 or LQM 0824 or 0834, will be sitting for this paper synchronously at the same time. So moving on to paper 1 section B, there will be 45 marks for this section, which it will test you on vocabularies, grammar, reading, and comprehension. There will be 3 sections here in these questions, which section number 1 will test you on sentence structure and vocabularies. Section number 2 will test you on reading comprehension. And section number 3 will test you on grammar. I'll show you all these 3 sections that will be consisting of a few small questions in this for each section. And then total mark for this section is 45 marks. It will be conducted by using Google Docs. The link will be shared on your Google Classroom LQM based, which you have joined with few groups in this Google Classroom. It will be conducted at the same time with paper 1 section A. Since you will be using Google Docs to answer this question on this section, you have to bear in mind that the answer must not be handwritten. It must be typewritten, which means you have to use your laptop or mobile phone to answer these questions. You cannot write the answer on paper and then snap the picture and upload on the Google Docs. You cannot do that for this section. You have to type your answer on Google Docs straight away. So for paper 1 section and section B, there will be 55 marks altogether, which will be conducted by using 2 platforms. First one is Google Form, and the second one will be Google Docs, which will be posted on your Google Classroom, that LQM-based Google Classroom, which there are few sections in this Google Classroom. Will be conducted tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. till 10:30 p.m. synchronously. It must be typewritten, not handwritten. So for now, I'll be showing you the questions or how the question will look like. Okay, let's take a look at this Google Classroom. Okay. If you see here, there are 3 questions paper here, posted here. The first one will be Al-Waraqa Al-Ula, Google Forms, which will be testing you on Al-Mufradat wal-Qawaid, vocabularies and grammar. And الورقة الأولى Google Form هذا tiba-tiba Arab lah. it will be it will test you on grammar, and what you must do once you have once you find this assignment or this quiz, you just have to click on the Google form attached here. So once you click this form, it will appear like this. There will be a topic here which will show you that this is paper 1 الورقة الأولى 10 درجات or 10 marks. There are a few informations that you have to fill in. First one is your email address. Please make sure that you have keyed in or you have filled in your correct email address that you frequently use, because the results will be sent to your emails later. Or so once you fill all these informations, once you have filled your email address, you have to fill in your name. Please make sure that all information given here is correct, so that you will be facing no problem after this IGA finish, because we have to look for your answer later on by only using your metric number or your group. So 3 informations that you have to ensure that you have been filling it that you have filled in correctly are: the first one is your email, your name, your metric number, as well as your group number. You have to make sure that your metric number is correct and your group number is correct, so that it will be easy for the lecturer to look for your marks later on. For example, you are from section 900, so you have to write in here 900 and your lecturer's name. For example, it is my name, so you just have to put everything here. I think this is a very basic one, because Google Form, you have been using Google Form from since the first time you have entered this, or before, during your school, or maybe before this. So once you have keyed in or filled in all the information give in page number 1, you will be directed to the second page, in which this second page consists of 10 questions that will test you on vocabularies. So what you have to do is, you just have to read on all the questions up here, which is in photo format. And you have to click on the answer here. For example, if this question, يغسل الطلاب بالغسالات, the answer is B, so you have to click on B here. So you just have to repeat all these steps for question number 2, question number 3, until question number 10. If you miss any of these 10 questions, you cannot go to the next page, since we have made each and every questions in this page is required for you to answer. So you have to answer all the questions. For example, I'll just click on any answer here, so that we can move on to the next page. So, for example, I've just answered all the questions here. So I'll click next, and it will direct you to the next page, which is the last page of this question paper, which is paper 1 section A. And then these 10 questions here in page number 3 will test you on grammar, which you have to answer all these 10 questions here. So, for example, all of these are required for you to answer. So you must answer all the questions. If not, you cannot submit the Google form here. So I'll just answer every single thing here. For example, if you have finished answer all these questions and you want to recheck your answer on page number 2, you can just simply click back, and you can recheck your answer, because the answer that you have filled in before will remain there. So you can check and change the answer if you want to do so. Then you have to click next, And yes, you can recheck the answer for the last 10 questions. And if you are or you have finished answering all these questions, you can just simply click submit button so that the response will be recorded. Once you have submitted your Google form, you can view your score here, which you will know your answer. I mean, not your answer. The marks or total points that you got from this section will be shown here. Note that the total points here is not your exact marks. Because why? Because we have 20 questions here, and these questions or this section will only we only have 10 marks for this section. It means that you have to divide the answer or total point that you have here by 2, which means if you have total points of 4 over 20, it means that you only get 2 marks, 2 over 10. So from here you can see all the answers, all the correct answers, which questions that you answered it wrong and which question that you answered it correct. So you can revise it later. So this is the first section, or the first section A for paper 1. So that is paper 1 section A. So moving on to section B, paper 1 section B, this will be a quite difficult. I mean, like, quite difficult in terms of how you will answer the questions. It is not about the question; it is about how you will answer the question. There will be few technical problem that you will be facing while answering these questions. So let us go with this. Section B, where will you get that question paper? You get it here. There will be this one. الورقة الأولى Google Docs الفهم والاستيعاب. So once you get this paper, you can click on this link attached here. For example, so this is what you will be this is what you will see. Oh, sorry. Change it into another account so that I can show you. Okay, paper 1 section 1. Okay, this is what you will see. There will be your name here. For example, your name will be just it will be just the same with your email names. So there will be a topic here, which is paper 1 IGA semester 2 2020-2021. And then what you will see here is the first page. The first page will be the front cover of paper 1 here. What you must do is you have to fill in all these informations again. But for this time, you don't have to click on something else, or you don't have to create another box just to add the words here. What you must do, or what you have to do, is just simply click right after the name here, and there will be this cursor here, and you just have to type your name. You just have to type your names. For example, if I'll write my name here. You don't have to change any format. You don't have to change any font here. You just have to click and just write your names. The next one is your metric number, for example, 21. And then the next one is your program. Okay, I'm sorry. I was facing problems with internet connection here. It suddenly disconnected, so now I'll continue. Okay, let's start with this paper one again. Paper one, section A. Once you have filled in your informations here, your name, your metric number, your program, your level, LQM 082123 or U 0813, section number, name of lecturer here. So there will be three sections here, as I've mentioned earlier. So the first section will be Al-Qism al-Awwal, 10 darajat. There will be 10 marks for this first section, which will be consisting of two questions. The first one is sentence structure here, and the second one will be testing you on Mufrad, Muthanna, Jama' as well as Muradif and Mudad. So how you will answer these questions? We start with the first questions, which is رتب الكلمات الآتية لتكون جملا مفيدة كما في المثال. There will be 5 questions here, which will be 2.5 marks, 2.5 marks, which means that each question have half mark each. So how will you answer these questions on this Google Docs? What you will do is there will be a table or a square or a rectangle or anything that you see here. You just have to click on this table or your is on this shape here, and you have to write or type your answer in this table. But first, you have to change the keyboard into Arabic keyboard. I'll show you how to add or to add this Arabic keyboard as well as how to use this Arabic keyboard later on. So you have to click on this table and just write down your answer here. If you find it difficult for you to put the harakat, for example, رجل المزارع النشيط هذه all these harakats, you just have to type it without harakat. For example, these questions, the answer is المزارع رجل نشيط. So you just have to, yes. ما في صورة. Okay. ماذا أستاذ؟ Oh, okay, okay. Oh, okay, sorry. دخلت هذه جوجل ميت هذا ونسيت بأن أشارك الشاشة أستاذ. لحظة لحظة. ترون الشاشة الآن أستاذ؟ أوكي. هل نبدأ من جديد أم كيف؟ أوكي. I'll just أوكي. لذلك هل أحتاج إلى أن أبدأ من القسم الأول هذا أم كيف أستاذ؟ أوكي لا بأس. أوكي أستاذ. أوكي. Okay, I'll repeat again on this القسم الأول 10 درجات. For this section A, 10 marks. There will be two questions. Question number 1, this one, sentence structure. And question number 2 is this one that will test you on مفرد مثنى جمع as well as مرادف and مضاد. So how you answer these first questions? There will be this rectangle or this shape under the questions, which you just have to click on this shape and there will be this cursor here, and you just have to type your answer here. You don't have to add any shape, uh, any other shape on this Google Docs. There are spaces provided for you to answer the questions. You just have to click on those shapes and just type the answer for the questions. For example, this one is Amila al-Amilu Naharan. So once you have finished answering or typing every single answer, know that they will be the answer will be saved automatically, even if you don't click on any save button on these Google Docs. I think you know these features on Google Docs. So moving on to the next one, this question number 2, there will be a text here, a dialogue here, which you will have to answer. You have to answer this question. Question number 1, which is about mufrad, muthanna, jama'. There will be tables that provided here. So what you have to do is, you don't have, once again, you don't have to insert or add any shapes or any text box here. You just have to click on this shape and you just have to type the answer. If your answer can be seen clearly, I don't think that you have to edit it or format it into any form of formatting or whatsoever. You just have to leave it like that. For example, this word mat'am, if you look at this word, it can be seen clearly, it can be read clearly because it is typed written here clearly. So although it is not be on the on the center of the table, but since we can read it clearly, I think you just have to leave it there like that. You don't have to change any formatting here. It goes the same with this word sa'atun, sa'atani, and you just have to click on the table and you just have to type the answer here. Goes the same with all these things. So next one, the first one, you have this table or this shape under the questions. And for this one, you have tables that you have to fill in. And next one is this kind of questions, which we have this word here. And after that, we have this underline or this line here. If you click on any part of this line, you can write the answer here. But then the line will be separated into two, which will then affect all the words given in this Google form. What you will do or what you have to do is you can just simply either highlight all the line and then type the answer, or you can either put the cursor at the beginning of this line and then just go one what we call that, one click after the at the beginning of the line, and you can type the answer here. For example, a'lamu, a'rifu. So then you will delete all this line. So it will not affect the formatting here, or it will not make this thing looks very weird. It goes the same for these remaining questions as well as these mudad questions. Okay, if you find the questions like this, there are spaces here, which somehow it looks very distracting. You don't have to format these things, all these things. You just have to leave it like that. What is important for you is to answer the questions. So for the second section, which consists of 25 marks, there are two questions which will be testing you on two passages. The first one is this short passage with harakat, which you have to answer the questions on this table. It is just the same with the first questions, which is sentence structure. So I don't think that I have to repeat it again. So there are spaces provided for you to answer all these questions, as well as with this second passage, which it is quite a long passage here. And then we move on to the last part, which is the section number 3. We have 10 marks here. There will be questions on grammar here. So how you will answer the questions? You just have to click on this table here, just the same as the way you answer mufrad, muthanna, jama' up there. So you just have to fill in this table, this column and this column. You don't have to change anything on this question paper, these questions paper or this set of questions. You don't have to underline or you don't have to highlight or whatsoever. The answer must be written in these provided spaces here. So this one, we have underlined here. It just goes the same with the questions that we have answered up there before. Goes the same with this one, this questions. I don't think I have problems with this type of questions. So moving on to the last one, which is the paper 2. So paper 2, okay, paper 2, there will be 35 marks for paper 2. It will test you on writing. So there will be two questions, which is the first one is formatted writing and the second one is argumentative essay. Total marks is 35 marks. It will be conducted only by using only Google Docs. Okay, if paper 1, the questions will be posted on the Google Classroom with LQM-based Google Classroom, which means there are few sections on in one Google Classroom. But then for paper 2, because since it will be conducted separately or at different time for each and every section based on their class timetable. So this link for paper 2 will be shared on the assigned Google Classroom by your teacher or by your section, because every section has their own Google Classroom. So you have joined this Google Classroom with your class teacher. So this question for paper 2 will be posted on your own section Google Classroom. Please be clear about this thing. So it will be conducted either on Wednesday or on Thursday. It depends on your class. So the most important thing is the answer must not be handwritten. It must be typewritten. Which means you have to type the answer. You cannot write the answer on any paper and then snap the answer and upload on Google Docs. You cannot do that. You have to type the answer on on Google Docs directly. So let's take a look at the question paper or the questions. Okay, mana pula cursor saya? Here. Okay, question number 2, paper 2. You just have to click on question paper 2 and it will appear like this. Oh, I'm sorry. Those on YouTube can view these things. Wait. Sorry. Wait, there is few problems here. I cannot see my cursor. Where is it? Oh. Mhm. Okay, moving on to this next one. Question paper 2. Paper 2, the first one, the front cover, it will be the same as paper 1 front cover. So you have to fill in these informations here. What you will see on this paper 2 is two questions. The first one is Uktub Risala Rasmiyah, which will be 10 marks. You will be given 10 marks for this question. And question number 2, which is the argumentative essay, which you will be given 25 marks for this question. So altogether, we have 35 marks here. So how you will answer these questions? There is a table here, not a shape here under the questions. You just have to click on this inside this shape here, and you just have to key in your answer. Also, you just have to write the answer here in this box. Goes the same with question number 2. I think there is no problem with this uh, on how to answer these questions on paper 2. Okay, I think if you have any question, you may ask the question now. Okay, yes.
The answer but arrange it later.
Oh, for question number 1, you mean the sentence structure one?
Yes.
Okay, you wait. I'll open the question. Okay, for example, this one. Okay, you may copy this sentence. For example, I highlight this word and I'll just paste it here. So it will look like this. You can rearrange here. For example, I will move it here. And then what you have to do is just to delete this dash, dash, and dash. You can do that.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Oh, okay. There is a question on YouTube live chat. I forgot about that thing. Once you have finished answering all the questions on Google Docs, how you will submit these questions? There is a button up here on your right side. Up. You just have to click on this turn in button. You have to remember. You have to bear in mind that you must click this button before you once you have finished answering all the questions. You have to click on this turn in button. For example, once you have clicked this turn in button, it will direct you to the Google Classroom once again, which it will appear like this, that there will be a prompt message here. Either you really want to turn in your work or not. So you just have to click this turn in button again, and it will be like this. It will appear like this, which means this copy of answer has been sent to your lecturer or your teacher in this Google Classroom. If you accidentally submit or turn in the answer, but then you have yet to finish answering the questions, you can simply click this unsubmit button, and then you can answer the questions again. But kindly ensure that you turn in the answer before the examination period finished. once please please don't submit the answer or turn in the answer once the examination finished. So is there any other questions?
Sir kena buka kamera tak?
Oh, as I have mentioned earlier, that there will be no invigilation for this IGA. So there will be you will only answer the questions on your own, which you will just simply open Google Form and Google Docs with no invigilation. Is it clear?
Sir, how can we put baris for some of the questions that require us to do that?
Okay, for questions that need you to put harakat. Okay, if you are not familiar with the keyboard or Arabic keyboard, you can search on your computer. There is on-screen keyboard. You can just simply click on search for on-screen keyboard. For example, you search for on-screen keyboard here. Okay. You have to change the language into Arabic. So once you have changed the language into Arabic, the Arabic letter will appear. So how to put the harakat or the baris here? You can just simply click shift and there will be a harakat there. For example, letter dot or Q is for fathah, letter W for fathatain tanween, and there are the harakat there. You just have to click shift and then click any harakat that you want to put on the word. You can click or you can use on-screen keyboard. There's another questions on YouTube channel, which for example, if there are okay, essay ni buat time waktu dengan lecture masing-masing. Okay, essay for paper 2 ya. Kita akan the question will be posted during your class period. So you have to answer the questions during your class, and yes, it will be with your own lecturer. How many hours allocated for one session? How many hours allocated for one session? It means that how many hours for paper 1 and how many hours for paper 2. For paper 1, tomorrow night there will be 2 hours for you, and for paper 2 writing, there will be 2 hours for you too. And then next one, boleh ke copy paste jawapan macam dalam petikan? Since I've mentioned or I've shown to you that we can copy and paste the questions for to the answer space provided there. So if you find it easier for you to answer that way, you may do so, but then please ensure that you don't change anything on the question set. For example, if you copy the question, the answer from the passage, you have to ensure that you will not delete any part of the passage, so that it will not affect any part of the question set. If any technical errors happen and need to extend time, what are we supposed to notify our lecturer for time addition? Oh. For any technical error or any technical problems, I think you have to inform your lecturers, and we will see what is the technical error there, and uh, we'll we will respond to you accordingly. Okay, is there any other questions?
Sir,
Yeah,
who will be marking our papers?
who will be marking your papers? Is that very important for you? Okay, I think your own lecturer.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Oh, masih ada yang tanya kena buka ke tak kamera. Since I've mentioned earlier in the beginning of this session, there will be no invigilation for IGA, so you don't have to open your camera since you will not be using Google Meet. So how can you open your camera? We will be only answering the questions by using Google Forms or Google Docs. So buat apa nak buka kamera pun? Nobody will see your face. What if we late to turn in the answer? I'll ask you, what if you late to submit the question paper during the examination? I think if we have you have reasons, you have to submit the questions, or you have to submit the answer, to turn in the answer during the allocated times. You don't have to submit it later than the allocated times. Assalamualaikum sir, IGA ni untuk apa actually? For your questions, there are a few people that answered the questions on the chat. Okay, is there any other question?
Sir, kalau ada dua lecturer kena letak satu ke dua-dua nama?
Preferably both lecturers. For example, you are from section 400 or 400 something. You have two lecturers. You have to put both lecturers' names so that we can. It will be easier for your lecturer to track your name. So, is there any other questions?
Sir,
Yeah.
it is compulsory for us to write harakat for every question.
Okay.
Answer.
With regards the harakat, the only questions that need you to write down the harakat is the grammar question. The question number. Wait. I'll show you which one. I think this one. This grammar section. For these questions and these questions. Untuk writing, is it better for us to use mobile phone or laptop? Because I found that I type lagi laju dengan phone dan laptop. Macam mana? Oh, soalan dia. Okay, for writing, I suggest you to use laptop. Because why? If you use mobile phones, there will be a few technical problems that you will face throughout answering the questions, because it is not really compatible on phone. Yes. On the live chat, there is no other questions. Okay, for those who are wondering how you can add the Arabic keyboard on your laptop, you can just simply search for language on your laptop, and then there will be wait, once you have opened the language setting, there will be this one, preferred language, which you have to add a language here. So you just have to choose Arabic Saudi Arabia, and then you just have to click next, and the language will be added to your computer. So how you will change the language later on? You can find the language on your taskbar at the bottom of your screen, and you just have to change the language from English to Arabic there. Is there any other questions? Okay, if there is no other questions, few things that you have to remember when you answer the question paper tomorrow. First one, you have to ensure that you have key in or you have filled in all the informations correctly, especially your metric number, your section number, as well as your LQM code. You have to also key in or fill in your lecturer's name. That is the first one. The second one is you have to ensure that you answer both sections in paper one, which consists of the Google form and as well as the Google Docs. For Google form, you have to ensure that you answer all the questions and fill in your email correctly, and then submit the Google form at the end of the session. Next one, for Google Docs, you have to ensure that you have click on the turn in button so that your answer will be posted or will be received by your teachers later on. And then next one, you don't have to add any new shape or new text box on Google Docs. There are spaces provided for you to key in your answer. You just have to click on the shapes or the spaces provided and key and type in your answer. Okay, untuk yang keyboard tadi, memang banyak negara Arab. Just click on Saudi Arabia. And the last one is there will be no invigilation for IGA this semester, as well as again based with regards with the examination questions, the paper one questions will be posted on your shared Google Classroom with all LQM subjects, or there are a few LQM groups there. Paper one will be posted there. And paper 2 will be posted on your own section's Google Classroom that your teacher has been created before during the beginning of the semester. So for those who have yet to join the Google Classroom that consists of a few sections from your LQM level, you have to do so as soon as possible because we will be having the first paper tomorrow night. So I would suggest you to ask your teacher or your lecturer what is the class code so that you can join the Google Classroom as soon as possible so that you will not face any problems tomorrow. With regards to the font on Google Docs, you don't have to change any types of font there. You just have to type the answer. You don't have to change any format in Google Docs. If there is no other questions, then I think we will stop here. Oh, can you do it in English? This is Arabic people. Of course lah, tak boleh. Okay, I think there is no other questions. So I think I have mentioned everything. If you have any questions or any problems that you think it is important for you to know, so you can just simply ask your lecturer, or if you have my number, then you can ask me. Yeah, I think that's all for today. Thank you. I'll end this session. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, sir.
You sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, 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 sir. Shukran, sir.
Shukran.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Shukran semua. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Terus saya.
Shukran, Ustaz. Inshallah.